First, let's take care of a warning. Okay, in the ship beams class, I forgot to delete these two rows when I introduced the timer function, or the timer class. Let's also change the move speed to 1 because I think the beams were moving way too slow. Let's try it out. Okay, much better. Let's start with the logic to enable the enemies to move. In the enemy base class, we need a move function, which will take a move type and a boolean that I will call increase y. If increase y equals true, we have reached a wall and we want the enemies to step down one step. Just step down, not left or right also at the same time. Okay, since we're moving down and don't have an outplot function, we'll delete the first row of the enemy and then replace it by space and then increase the coordinates y value and then return. Just step down if we reach the wall. Alright, so if move type is left, if move is equal to move type left, we decrease the x value by 1 and the other way around. Increase the x value if we're moving right. Okay, that's it. Let's move to the enemy class. Okay, let's start by adding another constant for the speed or the move init speed and set it to 7. That would be our start speed. During the game, that value will be decreased to enable the ship to move quicker, but we'll deal with that later on. So we need a move type, current move, which we set in the constructor to move type right initially. We need another timer, move timer. Let's instantiate it in the enemies constructor and we'll send the move init speed value. Okay, then we need a public void move function, of course. Okay, a lot of things will happen in this move function. Let's add two more constants first. We need the left and right boundary values to know when we've reached the wall and want the enemies to change direction. So we cannot look just at one enemy because they're not at the left wall at the same time. So we need to find the enemy that is most or closest to the wall on the left side when it's moving left, and the other way around, because we want all of the enemies to move direction whenever the closest one has reached the left wall. Are you following? Because of that, I'm adding a min x and a max x variable, which are set to 100 and 0. And we add the timer is waiting. If we're still waiting, just return. And then we'll loop over the enemies and get the x value for each enemy. And then we check if the current move equals move type left and the x value is less than the mean x. If it is, we replace it with x. So when we're looping through this loop, we're comparing the x values of all the enemies and we'll find the one with a minimum x value. The other way around, if we're moving right and the x value is greater than the max value, store that x value. In that way, we'll find the x value for the enemy that is most to the right, closest to the wall. So, if the current move equals left and the mean x value equals left boundary, okay, then we'll change the move direction to right. And the other way around, if current move equals move type right and the max x value equals right boundary, Then we'll set the current move to move type left. Okay. Wonderful. So now we can loop over all the enemies and set all of them to the new direction. Okay. In the for each loop, we call enemy.move and we'll send the current move. But as you noticed or remember, we wanted to send a boolean also telling us if it's time to increase the y value. Hence we add a bool increase y and set it to false, and then set the increase y to true if we have changed the move type or move type to the other direction. Okay. Looking in the plot function, we had the animation timer that just returned if it was still waiting. Now we need to plot all the time since it might move even though it's not animating. So let's check if it's not waiting anymore. Change the animation and that's it. Finally, in the game class, just add enemies move in the move function. Let's try it out. Wonderful. The enemies are now moving. Let's increase the speed so we can check what happens quicker when they reach a wall. Okay, here we go. Now it should step down and then move left. Perfect. The other way around. Step down and move right.